Hello, Miller, Strategy Battle Gamers, and LOTR SBG Team fans. We are here with our next episode of Army Breakdown, and today we're going to be focusing on Lake Town. Lake Town's an army that I started probably a few years ago and have taken to many tournaments now, and have actually done good. Have done very good a couple of tournaments and have fallen short a couple of the tournaments as well. And before I went to any tournaments, I had multiple practice games with this army and won almost all of them. So it's a very, very tough army to crack. And I'm going to give you some tips and some things I've noticed about this army that hopefully will help you guys out. So, first and foremost, the heroes you can take is Bard, Percy, Alfred, Hildy Bianca, Bane, Secret Tilda, Gandalf, Bilbo, and then Lake Town captains. So Bard's always a must in this army. Always a must. I always give him horse and armor. Next up is actually, I like to always take Bilbo, and I'll explain my reasoning here in a second. Oops. 2. Okay, and third, I generally like to take Percy, and I'll explain my reasoning for these three heroes. So these three heroes here, Bard gives bonuses for the Lake Town, and he also counts as a 12-inch banner for Lake Town. So he's kind of that hero that makes the basic troops better, and in that circumstance, I think that those types of heroes are always worth taking. Bilbo is a another good pick because he has the ring. And not only does he have the ring, but he has the second, and on the chart of who has precedent over the ring, Sauron is first, I believe Isildur, and then Bilbo. So he's really high up, not just Bilbo, but the Bilbo Master Burglar. He's very high up on that tier. So if you're versing an opponent in a tournament scene, somebody takes a cheeky Gollum or a cheeky Frodo, you're going to have precedent, you're going to have that ring. So what I like to do with Bilbo and Bard is Bilbo has this 3 might he can use for heroic actions. So that's what I normally use him for. I sit him in the back, use his heroic actions for heroic moves or whatever, and then keep him close to Bard so that when the time is right, you can charge whoever with the ring on, and that halves their fight. And then Bard rolls in with his fight 5. But let me show you this little trick here. Another thing you always need to do here is you need to take Secret Tilda. And they're going to go into Bard's Warband, I think. Yep. And you're also going to take Alfred. So those 3 characters I always kind of view them as upgrades for Bard that you need to take. And they also they're upgrades that help for your model count. So Secret Tilda, if they're within 6 inches of Bard, if one of them was within 6 inches of Bard, he gains +1 to his fight. If you have both girls within 6 inches, then he gets a free heroic combat on top of +1 to his fight. And then Alfred can give Bard might. So generally, you can be rolling around at the beginning of the game with 6 might Bard, fight 6, and free heroic combat, which is big because you don't have to spend your might on heroic combats. And then Bilbo's there to help pretty much wipe out anybody in the game. See, if Bilbo's there with Bard, the highest anybody's going to be able to get is fight 5, because even if you strike up to fight 10, your fight is still half to fight 5. So that means that Bard with his fight 6 is going to always win the fight on a 6, if you or a tie. So those are my heroes I always take. Those are the upgrades I take with Bard. Then we just flush out our warbands with Late Town Militia. And I forgot how many I take. I think I try to take around 18 with Bard. So let's go ahead and do. I have my shield guys, my spear guys, and my bow guys. So let's go ahead and take. Let's take 6. Let's take 4. I think generally I take around 4 archers. I always try to max out my archers. Okay, let's say it's about 18, so that's about right. Alright, so let's do 5, 3, and let me see, 4. That's Bilbo. I always take 3 archers with Bilbo. Okay. And 5, 3, 4. Okay. And let's go ahead and just buff up there. So 4. Alright, so, whoops. Alright, so, let's look at this army. We're at 584 points. 3 pretty much max war bands. I might have 7 in this, right there. So we have 3 max war bands. Okay. 45 miles, 590 points. If you're going to a 600-point tournament, it'd be hard for anybody to stand up to this combination and be standing afterwards. 45 miles is a lot of miles to cut down. But normally I take a variation of this list to an 800-point tournament, and let me show you how I do that. So in a kind of a basic 800-point army, 45 miles is a pretty high mile count. It's good. It's a good solid mile count at least. Normally you're going to be out modeling most of your opponents. At least that's kind of my experience with it. And so what I like to do is I like to give myself a little bit of knockout power with this list. This list here, I've taken a list similar to this with Gandalf leading a 4th war band, and that it lacks knockout power. It lacks kind of a certain presence on the table, which I like having. So when I first started noticing that as a weakness, people are you should take the Iron Hills Ballista. I was like, I don't really feel like doing that. I want to do something a little bit more unique. And so what I did was I actually started taking this Iron Hills Chariot right here, which are green allies with Lake Town, and made this my 4th warband. And I'm 45 points over now. I'm going to have to figure out what I did to oh yeah, to the captain. Let's go back to my index here. Lake Town. Survivors of Lake Town, I should say. There it is. Okay, so that chariot's 845 points, and those models inside count is 3 models. So let's look and see what we got here. I could always take out Percy, which I like Percy. Percy's good because he has that 3 might. Alfred is a must. The kids are a must, and Bilbo. We could take out Bilbo, but I really like Bilbo. He's kind of a must. I must have cut this out using troops. Maybe I didn't have as many spearmen. We cut out. Cut out spearmen and see. Okay, so see my number count's starting to dwindle a little bit, but those models on the chariot will also help towards my model count. You know, the captain and then the 3 crewmen. So that's 4 guys right there. Let's go ahead and bring this down to. Let's bring this down to 5. Yeah, okay, this is starting to come back to me. 44 or 43 miles actually sounds right with the chariot now. The last time I took this list, it was actually a Horde Lake town, and it was like, so I didn't have anything to. Bard's the big beat stick in this army, and he can definitely falter a little bit. All right, let's cut out one of those guys, and this should do it right here. Alright, so 39 miles, but then I have a total of 5 guys on the chariot, so that's 44. That looks about right. That's about where I was at. So, you can play around with this army quite a bit. If you are interested in kind of more of a breakdown on this army, you know, I've showed you the kind of what I like to do to build an army. I've explained to you some of the rationale for taking these guys, but if you're interested in more of a in-depth dive into this video, I would go check out our Lake Town Army review. We cover all the profiles from the Army and go into some deep tournament talk. But once again, I'm using the Lonely Knight Army Builder. It's very easy to use, and you know, it's pretty much the only way I build an army now. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And as always, enjoy your Middle Earth hobby.